Keys Cafe, St. Paul, Minnesota.
John Barrasso, good to meet you.
Let's bring in right now Senator John Barrasso of Wyoming, a McCain supporter, and with us also Senator Amy Klobuchar, a Democrat from Minnesota, hometown girl and Obama supporter, and Mike Murphy,
hello,
an
Mike.
NBC analyst.
Woo! Yeah,
Mike Murphy, everybody, come on. All right, very good. A rather muted response.
Yeah.
But you're not Senator from the great state of Minnesota. So, Senator, how did your woman do last night?
She was terrific, energized the whole place. And after Giuliani had given such a wonderful speech, for her to come out there and really take over the arena and I think take over the country was magnificent. The people,
Had you ever met her before?
I had not met her, but I'll tell you, the people of Wyoming all this past weekend given the big thumbs up. They said, she's for us. She's going to energize the entire Rocky Mountain West.
Have you ever talked to her?
No, I have not.
You know, when he's senator in Washington, in the Republican caucus, had sat and talked to her?
Yes, they have, and certainly, you know, those from Alaska, those who have been governors, those who have worked with her. I've only been there a year in the Senate, but I'll tell you, she is going to energize this country. She's talked about what matters to people.
Isn't it fascinating, though, that somebody like this, that so few people in Washington know, could have this type of explosion on the national stage?
Well, I think it's wonderful because we need to shake up Washington. Washington really hasn't gotten it right, and I think she's going to be the same kind of maverick that John McCain is going to be and make a real difference for this country.
Senator, do you agree? How was she last night?
Well, there's no doubt she gave a good speech. That's great. But one thing that I noticed right off the bat is not one mention of George Bush or what got us here the last 8 years. Middle-class families are struggling. They can hardly afford gas. They can hardly afford to get health care for their kids. And she's out there doing the same old partisan rhetoric. And in addition to that, even though it looked good, it sounded good, it was fun to listen to, the point of this was there were things that weren't true in that speech, including things she said about Barack Obama. He has said that he will, and made very clear, 95% of the people will see a reduction of taxes. It's the people making over $250,000 a year that won't. And so I just think we got to get the truth out here, no matter how good and exciting.
All right, Mika.
Okay, but here's your problem. She looked good. She sounded good. She was good. And she connects with women. I'm telling you right now, I watched it from my perspective as a working mother, and I can tell you there are probably many out there facing many different types of challenges in their lives, economic, and that woman spoke to women across America in a way any other candidate, male, could not have. She brings a new dimension to this race. You have to admit it.
She seems fun out there, and she seems like a fighter, but let me tell you this. Things that she said, when she said she was a reformer, she advocated for the bridge to nowhere, and then when it looked like it's going down, she says she's against it. She asked for earmarks that John McCain specifically criticized. So I have no doubt that people could like what they saw, but when we start really looking at what American women need, they need a paycheck. They need some time to take care of their kids. And so tonight we'll hear from John McCain, and maybe for the first time we'll hear some actual ideas, because we have heard nothing from the Republicans.
Mike Murphy,
about our
you know,
nothing.
politics is so fascinating because we all know John McCain did not want to pick this woman. He wanted to pick Joe Lieberman. Charlie Black or somebody in the campaign backed him off. So then they had to go to a woman, and they stumbled upon somebody who may be a political superstar. She certainly seems like the future of the Republican Party.
Well, I'm not sure. I think McCain is very comfortable with the choice. He might have been for Lieberman first, but I think you could see last night. I think.
Well, yeah, he is now. Yeah. He is now, but he didn't want her originally. He wanted Lieberman.
Right, but you know, I think there might have been a couple of finalists. She made it, and this was her big night, and I think she did. Look, she's a base pick. I've been kind of a critic of it because I'm not sure a base pick is the right strategy. But as base picks go, she's something else because she has a lot of advantages. She's interesting. She's different. She did a very good, it was a classic Republican us and them speech. She crushed the room. I think every Republican in the country got excited about it.
The pageantry of the family, my God.
Yeah, the family is impressive. The question is, and I'm still
what did you say? Did you say the family's pretty good?
No, I said it's great.
Extraordinary,
no, I thought it was very good. But my question still is, beyond that, in a tough environment, will she play wider? And I don't think we have the answer to that yet. That's been my hesitation about thinking she was the strongest pick. But I got to say, as a base performance last night, it was very good.
But look what's happened so far. I mean, you have to understand, because because of everything that she brings to the table, attacks will come off differently. You can't go after her like you go after Tim Pawlenty. She could be, in a way, the media, the whole thing that has unfolded in the past few days gives us a taste of how difficult it's going to be to fight this ticket now.
Yeah, I agree with that. And what I think is interesting about her is that she's different and interesting. That'll get her attention, which will give her a great platform to prosecute, the arguments for McCain. She does reinforce the change and reform thing, and I thought that was pretty clear last night, and that's a benefit to McCain.
I still think it's more of the same. And tonight we'll hear from McCain, and I'm sure we'll hear more partisan attacks. And I'd say to him, people...
Wait. You say what we saw last night is more of the same? Because I've got to tell you, Senator, I have never seen that before on a national stage. Where have I been?
At the Republican convention.
It is more of the same with partisan attacks.
Look at that, please.
It comes in a different package. It's a different person, but it is more of the same.
So you think that's just a package?
I think it is more of the same with partisan attacks. It's what we've been hearing for 8 years. The American people want something different, Joe.
What did we hear last week in Denver? Barack Obama, and I don't criticize Barack Obama for doing it. In fact, Mike Murphy and I said good for him, but he spent the first half of his speech ripping the bark off of John McCain and Republicans. Was it okay last week, but it's not okay this week when a woman does it?
You tell me when this woman talked about middle-class families today. Tell me when she had some solutions.
My God, she is middle-class families.
This is her life.
More than anybody else.
But she is supporting John McCain's policies that say more money for ExxonMobil, more money for the CEO of ExxonMobil, and what Barack Obama and Joe Biden
Let me ask you something. Did you vote for the oil tax cuts in 2005?
I wasn't there in 2005. But I voted this time to get rid of the $17 billion.
Barack Obama, and the only reason I'm going there is because you're going here on ideology. Barack Obama in 2005 voted for tax cuts for Exxon, for BP, for all the huge oil corporations.
He voted for an energy bill that at least moved us in the direction.
He voted for tax cuts for big oil companies.
But the point is, John McCain over and over again has voted for hundreds of millions of dollars in tax cuts for these guys. I'd say people who live in 7 houses shouldn't throw stones.
And you're the one that's been throwing stones.
Barack Obama voted present 130 times. He would have been laughed out of the Wyoming State Senate after one of those votes. Nobody like that would have even gotten to the U.S. Senate coming from the Rocky Mountain West.
I guess, Senator, my bigger point is that there are attacks on both sides. I mean, that's fair, isn't it?
There are attacks on both sides, but Barack Obama has brought a different kind of vision for this country, which is we've had it with these partisan attacks. You could see it in how he's run his campaign, how he's run his life.
But he attacked last week,
together to get solutions for the middle class. For 8 years, we're spending $12 billion a month in Iraq. We've been hurting the middle class. Their wages have gone down $1,000 a year. Their expenses have gone up $4,500. I didn't hear anything. As fun as Sarah Palin, as interesting she was to the media, I didn't hear one thing she said that changed that for the middle class, and I want to see change for this country.
You say as interesting as she was to the media?
Like a celebrity?
Do you think women in Minnesota might also find her story compelling?
They'll find her story interesting. They'll find her family interesting. And I admire her for being able to balance her work and her family and what she's done. There's no doubt about that. But she is John McCain's running mate. This is all about what his policies are. This is all about the fact that he's voted 90% with George Bush for 8 years and gotten us into the mess that we're in.
The senator's good.
Okay.
Isn't she good?
She took a beating and she keeps on going. Thank you.
Right back. Way to go, Senator.
Nice.
Hey,
All right.
by the way, very popular. A big hand for your senator.
Yeah.
Senator Amy Klobuchar.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Senator. Good to see you. Great to see you. Mike Murphy, stick around.
Nice work,
We will be right back. Do we go to Willie here? Does he have cakes or stars?
I want an ice cream
celebrities or
cone,
anything?
maybe. Or
Willie's
or
asleep
glow.
over here in the corner. We'll be right back with more Morning Show.